side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
A road completely washed out and homes surrounded by water. Now people are recovering and some have questions about clogged drains.
Plus, a lot of possibilities for what back to school might look like in Aiken County. We're hearing what parents have to say about these plans.
And he says he didn't leave the house for months, but the first time he did, he got COVID-19.
So all I do is wrap my arms around my family. And I can't.
Hear this man's gut-wrenching message in 10 minutes.
But first up, this video of a Richmond County deputy leading to an investigation. The deputy seen on the video hitting a suspect first, and then after the arrest, stomping on his glasses there in the street, and then giving him the finger. The sheriff's office taking a close look at the video and the deputy, Caleb Pye. Celeste Springer walks us through it all.
The sheriff's office confirms this happened on the morning of July 4th. We know Deputy Pye is still on the job and working his usual shift. We obtained the video you're about to see from a law enforcement source. In it, we can see deputies following Ricky McNair with his flashers on. Trash comes from the back of his truck. The deputy has sirens on. This is on Calhoun Expressway, but he and the deputy merge onto Washington Road. They pass Augusta National. And right in front of Freedman's Jewelers, the sheriff's office says the deputy you see in the road here is putting down stop sticks. McNair's truck stops, deputies have their guns pulled, and 3 of them pull him out of the truck and onto the ground. A deputy strikes him once. The truck keeps moving, so a deputy stops it. The deputies put McNair in handcuffs. You can see some of McNair's personal items fall out of his pockets and onto the ground. McNair is detained, and we can hear him claim he, quote, had an emergency. Words are exchanged between McNair and at least one deputy. A minute goes by, and deputies are walking around, looking in and around the truck. Deputy Pye walks in front of the patrol car where McNair's personal items were. He appears to point to one of them and steps on it and kicks it to the side. McNair says in the patrol car that the deputy stomped on his glasses. Pye then appears to give the middle finger. A few minutes later, Deputy Pye goes to pick up some other things of McNair's. This is a photo of Deputy Pye receiving an honor for 5 years of distinguished service back in February. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says Deputy Pye is under investigation but not on leave. The video we saw here was Deputy Pye's body camera that he placed in his police car. I've asked if removing your body camera while on call is allowed, but the Richmond County Sheriff's spokesperson was unable to answer that. McNair was arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude an officer, as well as obedience to traffic control devices. The sheriff's office tells me that last charge can be something like running a stop sign or a stop light.
Thanks for that, Celeste. Back to the flood damage now, a sight that's really hard to believe. Part of a local road completely washing away, as you can see there. This is Mill Creek Drive off Martintown Road. It's out near Sportsman's Corner in Edgefield County.
You can see a small crowd of people gathering there. They live on the other side and can't even leave their neighborhood. Nick Wrdw went there and found out what those people had to do.
We're here on the trap side of Mill Creek Road. We got over here from an ATV through a neighbor's yard, and that's really the only way in and out of this development right now. But take a look behind me at all of this destruction left by the storm. It's put a big hole in the road, and people, if they don't have an ATV, they can't get out.
It's like a nightmare.
It's something people who have lived here for 25 plus years have never seen before. Mill Creek Road was washed away, and with it, the community's only road out of their development.
I looked around and like, the road's gone.
We saw the water pull a tree down. The water actually was so strong, it took the tree with it.
EMA estimates about 150 people are trapped in the neighborhood.
It's like you're on an island, you know, if you ever wanted to, be on an island where this is.
Right now, there's only one way off this island. This bridge in the back of a neighbor's property. The muddy ride is too small for a car, but neighbors are riding ATVs to get to the other side. For everyone else, it's a waiting game.
It's a little concerning because we know it's going to be a long time before this actually gets fixed or maybe even starts to be fixed.
But not everyone is as concerned.
Don't bother me none as long as I can get what I want.
They're trying to keep spirits high while they wait for this mess to be cleared.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it, That's right. There's no reason getting pissed off.
And who are you going to get pissed off at? I don't think so.
EMA says they're working on getting some gravel down on a fire lane at the end of the development, but even then, that's only going to be able to get bigger cars, SUVs, out of there. Smaller cars are still going to have some trouble. So these folks are just hoping that this all gets resolved pretty soon and they're able to get out of their neighborhood. In Clarks Hill, Nick Proto on your side.
Thanks a lot, Nick. It's not just an inconvenience. If there's an emergency in that neighborhood, the fire department has ladders they can lay across the washed-out road. They can walk across that way. Or if they need emergency vehicles, they say they can come through a back entrance, and an entrance that the EMA is working now to lay down. But, boy, a serious situation with flood damage there.
This water flowing in Augusta is actually an improvement from yesterday. This is Virginia Avenue off Peach Orchard today. This time yesterday, neighbors say sewage was flowing through.
We're going to talk about ongoing efforts to fix Augusta's drainage issues in about 5 minutes. But first, let's get to the weather that caused all this. Riley, did I see correctly that in some areas up to 6 inches of rain?
Yes, half a foot of rain and more in some spots, Richard, yesterday. So substantial rain, almost a month's worth of rain in just a couple days earlier this week. Luckily, we have not seen as much heavy rain today. We're still tracking a few of these showers through northern Aiken County, Edgefield County as well, but these are not too problematic for us. With the rain around Aiken, we're currently cooling off to 80 degrees, but here in Augusta, we have hit temperatures as high as 90. Going to radar, there you go, just some light to moderate rainfall, nothing too concerning. These aren't producing any strong wind or anything in the way of lightning either. These are just kind of our generic nuisance showers. Through Barnwell, Bamberg County, we have some of these as well. I would say these are going to remain possible for the next couple of hours, but after sunset, we should start to see some drier weather for the overnight. Now, temperature-wise, we're currently near 90 here in Augusta. Aiken's a little bit cooler. In general, most of us should be staying in the 80s through this evening, and then only bottoming out in the 70s tonight. Have a look at storm chances tomorrow and for the weekend in just a little bit.
Thanks a lot, Riley. We're getting a lot of reaction from parents today after Aiken County school leaders laid out their plans for students to return to class. There are a lot of possible directions this could go.
It still needs to be approved, but we asked parents what they thought about the plan so far.
Not make any plans based on the draft that we're going to see tonight. So don't make any deposits on child care or a vacation or something like that because it's just a draft.
Despite the call for caution, Aiken County parents grew concerned after Tuesday's reopening recommendations. Some saying schools should be virtual, others arguing traditional, many parents simply just wanting to make the individual choice for their families. Instead, Aiken County School District will decide.
But taking the decision in the parents' hands, I don't believe is. I crave normalcy. I'm ready to get back to normal myself. My children are ready to get back to normal. But their health has to come first.
Amanda Muchler has 3 students,
I'm just really nervous.
each feeling differently about returning. All the more reason she wants a variety of options. But the board will vote on a single county-wide plan, describing it in phases. The higher the COVID risk, the fewer classes at school. Phase 1, in-person class once per week. Phase 2, classes twice a week for 2nd through 12th grade and 3 times for younger kids. Phase 3, most students in class for 4 days a week. Except 1st grade and under, they go every day. Then phase 4, if the virus risk is deemed its lowest, all students in class Monday through Friday.
My junior, this is a big year for her this year. One big year colleges look at. She doesn't believe that she can successfully pass this year without the in-person learning.
Even so, this mom says she's not sold on the idea that kids will properly social distance and wear masks.
As an essential worker, I'm out there every day, and I see people who don't believe it's real, don't believe that we did it.
Supporters, however, point to the benefits of returning, like mental health, improving learning gaps, the board explaining if they do choose to resume traditional learning, the necessary sanitation and social distancing measures will be in classrooms, cafeterias, and during extracurricular activities.
The decision should absolutely be in the parents' hand. There's too many risks.
If you're a concerned parent, the district wants to hear from you. They vote on a plan next Tuesday at 6 p.m., but there will be an in-person public comment period right before that vote.
And some of those parents have a lot to say on our Facebook post about those plans. A lot of you agree with Carla, who says she doubts her kids will go back if cases don't start going down. Aaron says one thing he does like about the plan, it can be changed based on the situation at the time, but Felicia says parents should be able to choose. And that's just what parents are doing in several of our Georgia counties. We're learning today about McDuffie County's plan to go back to school. Parents do get to choose between sending kids back to school or doing virtual learning. There will be safety measures including social distancing and encouraging masks for teachers and kids. If you choose the virtual plan, you do have to fill out an enrollment form by the 16th of July.
And we've told you Richmond and Columbia County parents also got a choice between traditional and virtual learning. Those details and information on all other school plans are on our website. Another area seeing major flooding is in South Augusta. These are homes on Virginia Avenue off Peach Orchard Road, now surrounded by water.
And people there have told us for years, every time it rains, it floods, which leads them and many others to ask about the stormwater fees everybody's having to pay in Richmond County. Kennedy Harris checks in on where the city is on fixing the biggest problem areas.
People here on Virginia Avenue have been dealing with the same flooding issue for years, and they say yesterday was the last straw.
The streets of Virginia Avenue are clear now, but yesterday was a different story.
Whenever there's real heavy rain, it happens.
Sewage overflows from a manhole on Virginia Avenue at least once a year.
It's astronomical when I come home and I have to smell this, or I have to walk through this, or my neighbors can't even get to their house because there's 3 foot of sewage in their front yard.
Wayne Diddy has lived on the street for almost 2 years. He says he saw sewage rolling down the road at least 4 times last year, and him and his neighbors want to see something done.
Yeah, help us. We're asking for help. We're begging for help. We need this help.
Virginia Avenue is one of the several areas a part of the city's stormwater drain repair project, and the plan is to repair old and damaged pipes to correct the flooding problem. Diddy says the work that's been done thus far hasn't helped.
All they're doing is putting more and more tar on top of it, trying to patch it. And that's the problem we're having with this, is the sewer. It can't flood.
Him and his neighbors say they can't take it much longer.
Well, it's not a joke. We're tired of it. There's toilet paper everywhere. There's waste everywhere. You can see it actively going down the road. The water is a milky white, especially when it goes into the creek. You can see the difference in the color of the water.
County Commissioner Dennis Williams tells me he's aware of the problem, wants to see it fixed, and is working with the Utilities Department. But he says the results just can't be as fast as we would like to see. Kennedy Harris, on your side.
People living on Virginia Avenue are not happy with city leaders' efforts. Commissioner Williams wants people to know he is not ignoring their concerns and says the problems cannot be fixed overnight.
A new petition to take down a massive Confederate monument right in the heart.
At University, just 5 new cases with now 60 people in the hospital there.
Doctors Hospital now has more than 100 cases overall. They have Norwood, VA. One of those local cases involves a musician here who stayed at home for months during the pandemic.
But all it took was him leaving his house one time and he contracted the virus. Laura Puglisi shares his story and a strong message to everyone.
This here is the post that went viral. In it, Rusty has a hard time breathing, but his message is clear. This isn't a joke. You don't want you or your loved one to be next.
Rusty Bottom here, a.k.a. DJ Spectrum.
In a heartfelt video, local musician Rusty Bonham pleads for people to take COVID seriously.
I'm stuck in this hospital bed. I have to be hand-fed. I cannot move. Can't do anything. I can't see my family. That's all I want to do. Just wrap my arms around my family. And I can't.
His wife Sarah tells me for 5 months their family bunkered down in quarantine. Rusty is diabetic and on dialysis at home, so Sarah did all of the grocery runs, and for the most part they didn't leave. It wasn't 4 weeks after Georgia reopened that Rusty finally left to go to work.
It took one time. I mean, he did. He went to a gig. He did what he loves.
Rusty posted this video his first night in the ICU since pneumonia has started to take over his lungs.
It's absolutely gut-wrenching. I go to sleep at night alone. I wake up alone. My kids, they just want him home. And I don't know if they're going to see him again. And that's horrible. Nobody deserves that. No family deserves this. Wear a mask. It is not that hard.
This week, Georgia hit a grim milestone, marking 100,000 positive cases of COVID-19.
Do the right thing, because that worked for us. When we stopped doing that, allow this virus to invade our family.
Laura Puglisi, on your side.
To the numbers statewide, there have been about 1,150,000 tests, and out of those tests, about 9% come back positive. So while testing is increasing and that does lead to more positive results, the majority of those tests still do come back negative.
Another local town is now encouraging masks. The Barnwell City Council passed a resolution just in the last few hours recommending people wear masks in public places. Aiken and North Augusta have already both passed similar resolutions.
And if you're looking to get tested, there are 3 chances to do that for free tomorrow. One is at the Belvedere First Baptist Church on Edgefield Road in North Augusta from 8:30 in the morning until 1:30 in the afternoon. You do have to live in South Carolina to get the test for free there. Another testing site is at New Beginnings Ministries over on Williston Road in Beach Island from 8 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. You are asked to wear a face mask if you show up there. There will only be 350 tests at both of these testing sites, and there will be a third site coming up at A.L. Corbett Middle School in Wagner. That's going to be from 10:30 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon.
We were able to make it to 90 this afternoon.